Okay, my next segment of me wanting my flowers has to do with Universal and Meta doing a deal. And I don't know if I need flowers in this, but I've been very curious since the beginning of this Drake and Kendrick beef.
As to why he's putting all this music out.
Why are both of them leaking this initially on Instagram? And I know a lot of people were saying like, oh, because the samples and like, it's about hip hop. It's about the beef. Like, it's not on DSPs because this is pure art now.
Yeah.
They're just going to go on Instagram. Like, oh, I don't know if Instagram's the purest art.
Yeah, definitely not.
They should have pressed it on a CD with a Sharpie at that point.
Yeah.
But I was always curious why they did that. I was like, there has to be some type of reasoning with this at all. And then we even had debates of, okay, there's still affiliation with Universal, and maybe they wanted Kendrick to release defaming things about their biggest artist, not on DSPs. Like, maybe that's what it had to do with. Then 100 Gigs comes out, and we have the debate of, like, why is Drake posting this stuff on this website, plus only putting these records out on Instagram? Still feels very weird. And were we here or last episode when I was saying, yo, if he cared about these records, there'd be a proper rollout? That's where I was wrong in regards to everything now making sense.
Yeah.
Meta and Instagram, I'm sorry, Meta is Instagram. Meta and Universal have some form of a partnership, and this is coming from producer Damian Young, who's been going viral lately as far as breaking down like royalties. I really do like his page. He does explain things for like a dumb novice like myself to really understand that type of stuff. So he last night put this out. Instead of being paid for streams, artists are being paid for the number of accounts that use their music instead. To put it simply, instead of artists being paid for activity generated by their music, such as comments, likes, shares, reposts, they are instead being paid by the number of accounts who choose to use their song instead, which we had some knowledge of this with TikTok when people were using sounds, and like that was sort of out there. But now that Universal and Meta have this partnership, I think it goes to a different level. So yeah, again, we know that this has been going on with TikTok as far as using sounds and people being paid out for that. What Damian Young is really asking with this new partnership with Meta and Universal is, how is that formula going to change now? And clearly artists like Kendrick and Drake are ahead of the curve and have the answers to that. But we don't know what that payout looks like whatsoever. I think this deal that they announced is going to change music the way it changed when DSPs showed up. We constantly are asking, like, all right, DSPs has to be the final front. Like, where could it go from here?
Right.
With Meta now, it's going to have to create an entirely new formula that we have no idea how it's even going to benefit any artist or creator. But clearly, the biggest ones are already doing it before any of this announcement. So, remember when we were talking, I was like, there's no way Universal's cool with Drake putting all this footage up like that. They own that, this, that. There has to be a reason why they're okay with the moves Drake has been making, because they still own his shit for the most part. I know licensing deal, whatever. But, yeah, there's not much to really discuss with this announcement. I just think we should keep our eyes on it because everything's about to change.
But I think we kind of, because when Drake did the 100 Gigs thing, and one of your first reactions to it was, oh, Drake had to remind everybody, like, the catalog, the work, things he's done. But now, as we can see, it's a different thing coming now with this Meta thing.
And remember when the whole catastrophe of Universal artists can't be on TikTok anymore, they're not giving in.
All of that shit is tied in.
Now Meta does a deal
with Universal.
Everyone's playing with house money, and we're the only ones that'll be fucked. Like, every time we come in here and like, yo, finally, they're holding out.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nah.
This was the play the whole time.
Yeah.
And Drake and Kendrick are clearly ahead of the curve of what's going on.
Oh, but you know that they're already in the know and in the business of all of these things before we find out about it. They know what's going to happen. They know the shifts and the moves that are being made. So, now what does this do though as far as moving forward when artists make moves like that? Like now we looking at every move like, okay, what is this tied to? What is that tied to? Because everything has to make sense for the artist at the end of the day.
And this isn't a defend Drake situation at all. With everyone's like, yo, it's just not even charting anymore. It's not on Billboard. Like, does that matter now? Are we seeing the shift where how you release music matters more to what you do with Meta than it would ever matter with charts?
Yeah.
Or playlists or DSPs for that matter. Like,
I think ego-wise, it probably still matters. Ego. We're talking about ego. Just personal ego. That might
but if you have information as Drake of where things are going to shift, I don't think you have an ego at all because you know what's about to happen. You're probably looking at all of us laughing.
Oh, of course, at the ignorance.
Like even we don't have to make it a Drake thing. With Kendrick putting out Kill the Party or whatever the title will be, which we don't even know the title.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't even matter.
Because it doesn't even fucking matter. I was like, yo, that Kendrick song came and went.
Mm-hmm.
Did it? Because it's all over Meta.
Yeah.
It's not on DSPs. It's not on any charts. It's not being played, but it's being played where it matters.
Right.
If this new formula exists.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I guess, the fight back at TikTok. Like, all right, we'll find a partner that will fuck with us.
Yeah. And that'll make it valuable for both of us.
Our catalog will matter now.
Yeah.
And we are going to start counting things by the accounts that share rather than the streams. Because they've all fucked us up and created the streaming formula.
Mm-hmm.
We joked for a decade. What is a stream?
Right.
How do you even dictate what a stream is, what it costs? Like, you created that formula in your head one day, and now we all have to march by those standards.
Right.
You value my music at this because you say so. This is fucked up. I think they're about to do the exact same thing at Meta. They're going to change the formula of how music is valued. Oh, it's valued now by just what accounts are sharing it, not by what stream it gets, not by the amount of seconds it's played on DSPs. They are now can create a completely different formula on the fly.
So a deeper thought on that, how does that affect the formula of creating music and writing music?
Who the fuck knows?
See, that's the part I'm thinking about. Like, how does that affect the creative process of...
Well, that's what Damian Young was saying at the end of this video that went viral last night of like, they've announced it, but they haven't given us any information on what a payout even looks like at this point, which was streaming early too. Like, everyone was wondering, all right, cool. I like what Spotify is doing. Oh, I heard Apple is about to do the same thing. This is the new wave. How am I being paid? That we're still trying to figure that out.
Right.
This is going to be a whole nother monster. How do you even dictate what? All right, accounts did it. But the amount of AI and bot shit that you could do, like, how do you even dictate what happens?
And there's already a producer that used AI to create a band and then used bots to listen to
make 10 million.
And made 10 million.
And you think they're going to let that shit slide?
See,
now?
we got to find the scammer that knows how to do that. I don't want no clothes, no jewelry. You niggas better start creating bands.
That's the pieces that hit for me.
Yeah. Create a fucking band and let's run these fucking numbers up. And
the best I ever did was scam Best Buy gift card.
Yeah, like fuck. Those days is
wish
over.
I could make a
We
band.
don't want flat screens. Don't call me with no more flat screen TVs, nigga. Have 5 bands waiting. Not $5,000. 5 guitars and basses and the lead singer. I have all of that fake shit waiting. That's the fake shit we want.
And it's just like, I don't know. I'm pessimistic, so this type of shit depresses me. You know,
I told you because you're an art.
Well, not even like
you create music.
Just, it's gonna affect everything across the board because, you know, even with the podcast world, where as far as ads and CPMs go towards downloads, we clearly see that streams do more than downloads, and that's like an ancient thought. So we are in the streaming world, whether we like it or not. This affects us the same way.
Yeah,
I don't know how they fucked us to begin with when it came to DSPs because podcasts keep people on DSPs longer than Thriller could. The retention rate is incredible with podcasts, but we are paid out at the same rate, which is fucked up. If I keep someone on your platform this long, I should not be paid the same as someone that doesn't.
How do you think that would affect the podcasting industry, if at all?
I don't know yet. That's what I'm saying. This is kind of nuts of what they're doing because it's sounds now. Like that's even how TikTok does it. It's a actual song that you cut down is just called a sound. And I'm not trying to get too deep, but like that's fucking nuts. It's not songs like
scary.
This is a sound that you can put behind your TikTok video, and now that has a value that is counted the same way a single once was.
Yeah.
This was used and it was cost this much. This is what you get back. I don't know what the fuck what's a sound anymore?
Yeah, man, they're changing the meaning and definition of words right in front of us, and we got to just like go with it.